I've been selling name brand products on Amazon the past 3 years, done several million in sales, and even made over $100,000 in profit in just my first 10 months. If you want to avoid wasting time and money as a beginner Amazon seller, this video is for you. I'm going to give you 8 things you need to do before starting Amazon FBA to be as prepared as possible to maximize your profits. We have no time to waste. Q4, the fourth quarter of the year, October to December, has a ton of big holidays. There's a ton of massive increase in demand, and we need to prepare as new sellers. I got you guys in this video. Also, want to let you guys know that tomorrow, September 18th at 7 p.m. Eastern, I'm hosting a completely free live training on how to maximize your Q4 profits. So make sure you head down below in the link in the description or the pinned comment and get registered for the free live masterclass we got going out tomorrow night, 7 p.m. Eastern. It's completely free, tons of game, best free content on the internet by far about starting and scaling your Amazon biz, especially with Q4 right on the way. So make sure you guys get registered for the free live training below. Let's get right into the video. First thing you need to do before starting your Amazon business in 2024 is going to be choosing the right business model. Now, I want you to understand there's several different ways to sell products on Amazon. There's Amazon private label, which is buying products from China that are unbranded, then creating a brand on Amazon. Like, for example, buying an unbranded pen and creating a brand on Amazon, right? The problem with that is that takes a lot of money to start, and it takes a while for the products to actually get here from China. And then once you have a bunch of unbranded products, you have to create demand, right? So you're going to have to run a bunch of ads and do copywriting and create a good listing. Meanwhile, what I like to do is called Amazon Online and Retail Arbitrage, and that's selling discounted name brand products we find at a profit. So stuff from Walmart, Kohl's, Target, etc. Now, there's another way to sell name brand products, which is called Amazon Wholesale. The problem with that is that it also takes a lot more capital. And if you want to buy directly from manufacturers and distributors, you're going to have to do a bunch of cold calling and cold emailing. And if this is your first online business, that's probably going to be pretty hard for you. So what I like to do the most is online and retail arbitrage, buying discounted name brand products from big retail websites, then flipping them on Amazon for a profit, or going in store to Ollie's or the grocery outlet or some of the different outlet malls you might have near you and finding discounted products as well. Online and retail arbitrage, in my opinion, are the simple and easiest way to get started selling Amazon in 2024. All right, guys, the next thing you need to do before starting Amazon FBA in 2024 is you're going to need to know a bunch of different terms. So I have a whole mess of terms here that I'm going to go through with you guys. So make sure you take notes on this. And by the way, if you guys have any questions as we go, please let me know down below at the link in the description. So the first term you need to know is going to be FBA. That stands for Fulfillment by Amazon. That's when you sell products on Amazon and ship them off in bulk to the Amazon FBA warehouse. So that's the traditional Amazon business model you hear about in terms of the fulfillment type, right? The second one is going to be the opposite of FBA, which is known as FBM, aka Fulfillment by Merchant or Merchant Fulfilled. This is instead of putting a bunch of products in one box and shipping them off to the Amazon FBA warehouse, instead, with Merchant Fulfilled, you ship the items directly to the customer individually. Now, long term, you'll probably primarily be doing FBA. However, I love Merchant Fulfilled as well, especially during Q4, because if you want to sell a product FBA, you have to wait typically a minimum of 1 to 2 weeks for it to check into the Amazon warehouse. Meanwhile, if you want to sell a product FBM, you can literally get it listed the day it arrives and start making sales fast. Q4 is the last months of the year, the holiday season, when we see Halloween, Black Friday, Cyber Monday, Christmas, a whole different bunch of holidays, and that sees demand really increase on Amazon. So if you're a newer seller looking to get going, now's the perfect time to do it. The buy box is going to be the buy it now option on Amazon. This is where we want to be as Amazon sellers. It's important to note, guys, the buy box rotates between different sellers. So for example, when you look at an Amazon product page, which we're going to do in a couple minutes, when you see the like buy it now option at $29.99, and then you see it says ships from Amazon sold by, that's the seller that it's in the buy box specifically. So this is where we want to be. Luckily, it rotates between sellers. As long as your price competitive and inventory is checked in, you're going to get buy box share. Right? The next one is going to be virtual assistants, which is going to be offshore talent that helps you run your Amazon business for somewhere between $3 and $10 an hour for tasks like sourcing, admin work, supplier outreach if you're doing wholesale. The reason why you can get employees for this cheap just to do these virtual tasks is because countries like India and Pakistan and the Philippines, for example, the US dollar currency goes way further. So that's a huge advantage of just online business in general, is that you can leverage virtual talent. And someone in America who you might have to pay $30 an hour, you can pay someone in the Philippines who's super excited to help out, $5 an hour, for example. This typically makes sense around 20 to 30K a month in sales. So once you're a little bit further down the line. Prep centers are going to be ways for you to not need to actually touch the product yourself. They're basically third-party warehouses that will intake and process your inventory to FBA for you using shipment software. Boxum, for example, right? This typically makes sense at about 500 units per month. My buddy Chris on cleartheshelf.com has some really good resources on getting started with prep centers. Number 7 is going to be ASIN, aka Amazon Standard Identification Number. That's a unique number given every product. You can find it in the URL specifically or in the product details on that product. That's how you're going to list the product specifically right there. More terms you guys need to know. Keepa is a product research tool that shows you supply, demand, and price action. I'm going to go through exactly how to use that in a little bit, as well as Selleramp is our product research tool that's going to help you understand the Amazon fees and know the exact profit you're going to make on a specific product, as well as help you find more items in mobile app, Chrome extension, and web app form. Both those are about $20 per month, and you can try Selleramp completely free for 2 weeks on Selleramp.com. Sales rank is going to be how fast a specific product sells. So this is a number that changes in real time that's assigned to each product to show demand. So for example, the lower the better. So a sales rank 1 sells way better than a 10K sales rank, which sells way better than a 50K sales rank, which sells way better than a 100K sales rank, for example. This changes throughout the day. It also changes yearly in that, for example, right now in September, a hoodie is going to be selling way better than it's going to be selling in June, for example. So for the most part, right, slides will go up in rank in the winter, down in rank, aka up in demand in the summer, and vice versa with hoodies, so on and so forth. I'd recommend staying below like a 150,000 rank, for example. Retail arbitrage is going to be buying stuff in store to resell it on Amazon, right? The cool thing is you can do multiple business models at the same time on one account if you want to. And private label is going to be buying an unbranded item and branding it the typical Alibaba model you hear about, right? Bolo is going to be a hot item, aka be on the lookout for right there. So for example, a bolo is an item that sells really quick. And those are the terms you need to know as a beginner Amazon seller. The next thing you guys are going to need to know before starting out selling on Amazon is a full breakdown of the budget and just how much money you need to get started in general. So here's the basic expenses that you're going to run to as an Amazon seller, in my personal opinion, in terms of the best ways to do it. You're going to need a professional Amazon seller account. That's going to cost you $40 per month. You can get that at sell.amazon.com. You do not need an LLC to do that. Obviously, I don't know your personal situation. However, Amazon doesn't formally require an LLC to sell on their platform, right? Keepa and Selleramp are both monthly software you can subscribe to that are about $20 per month. Boxes you can just get at Walmart or Uline. For FBA, I like the Walmart ones that are around 24 by 19 by 17. And for FBM, I like the 12 by 10 by 8 box range. You just need to make sure any packaging you're using for FBM does not have store branding on it specifically. The cashback Chrome extensions are completely free. You want to make sure you have all those. That's Rakuten, Top Cashback, Be Frugal, Retail Me Not, Capital One Shopping, and Coupon Birds, right? Inventory. Don't listen to people that say you need 5 to 10K to get started with. I actually agree that you need that to get started with private label or wholesale. However, we're talking about the easier way to get started online arbitrage. You need like 1 to 2K specifically, but you just got to start with what you got, right? FBA poly bags and poly mailers you can get on Amazon. I'd recommend like 9 by 12, 12 by 15 ranges. Clear lens with the suffocation warning for Amazon FBA, and then gray one specifically for Amazon FBM. And then in terms of listing your products, both FBM and FBA, our brand new Amazon FBA shipment tool, Boxum, is $50 a month and will help you do that. There's a 2-week free trial link in the description for Boxum right there. So all in all, you need like 1 to 3K to get started with, specifically right there. It's honestly insane how cheap running this business is. It's just like, $200 in recurring basically, and then variable in terms of inventory costs right there. You can get started selling part-time. I know tons of people that are crushing it with 9-to-5 jobs or in college, and a lot of people that want to, pursue this full-time eventually too, that work super hard and are able to achieve it after some time. So that's the overall budget breakdown you need to know before starting Amazon FBA. Another quick win to take advantage of before getting started is actually going to be free USPS and UPS shipping supplies. USPS, if you just Google USPS free shipping supplies, is going to give out a ton of free ones on their website. UPS also gives out a ton of shipping supplies on their website too that are free as well. My favorite ones are going to be these shipping labels right here you want to take advantage of that are really helpful for both FBM orders and FBA shipments specifically. So nice and easy, guys. Don't overthink this. Get some free boxes from USPS and some free labels from UPS. Just Googling USPS free shipping supplies and UPS free shipping supplies. All right, another awesome thing to do before you get started selling on Amazon, really right away when you do it, is actually going to be getting some products auto-ungated. So a big issue a lot of beginner Amazon sellers have is they think, okay, I can't selling anything when I'm a new seller. Now, luckily, getting ungated is really easy in 2024, just getting purchase confirmations and invoices from big websites. Target.com, soccer.com are a couple websites we see people crushing with ungating. However, the cool thing is there are a lot of small brands that if you just hit request approval, you're going to get and be able to sell right away. So I've made a big list of these for you guys. There's a lot of these. Typically, most beginners are able to unlock around 100 of these. There's at least like 2,000 on the list that I'm going to link in the description right there. The cool thing is, as you sell more items, more and more items become auto-ungated as well. So if you want some quick wins, definitely go download this list here and get going with that. It's completely free. It's really easy. Just do like Stafford, ColourPop, 32 degrees, athletic work, standard process, and there's a good chance several of those are going to automatically approve you when you hit request approval or just let you sell them immediately right there. So I definitely recommend getting on that as a new seller. It's a nice quick win to get the ball rolling. So take a look at the auto-ungate list at the link in the description right there. Not all of these are going to auto-ungate, but some of them are, and that's the key is the more you sell, the more start auto-ungating as well. And if something lets you apply and does request invoices and purchase documentation, you can get those from any big website or especially any brand website in 2024. All right, guys, the next thing you really need to know is going to be how to use Selleramp and Keepa specifically right here. So for example, taking a look at this 32 degrees skort listing right here, we can see right off the bat, like I was mentioning, guys, the buy box here is $27. And this is primarily where you're going to be hanging out when you're going ahead and doing Amazon FBA product research for online arbitrage. Now, a lot of beginners think you need a bunch of complicated and expensive software to do this. Instead, I just take these in simple route. Selleramp and Keepa product research makes it nice and easy. Right here, you're going to go ahead and download the Selleramp Chrome extension from your browser, just Google Chrome Store. Specifically, get that plugged in on Google Chrome right here. And then we can see over here the Selleramp Profit Calculator specifically. Right? So the cool thing is Selleramp's going to tell you how fast an item sells, whether or not you can sell it, and how profitable this product is. So this is 32 degrees. So I just got to go ahead and hit request approval. Be good to go on this specifically right here. And then we can see the sales rank for this item right here is about 240K. So while this is in the 1%, unfortunately, this is not high enough. And we can see it's only got 31 estimated sales per month. So in general, when you see a pretty high sales rank, for the most part, you want to avoid that item unless the Keepa chart looks really good, right? And then next up, we can see the max cost right here. And so a lot of people worry about like shipping and Amazon fees and shipping to Amazon. And the cool thing is Selleramp takes into account all of that. So this max cost right here, we can see if we plug this in, gives us about a 30% ROI. But say I could find this item for $10.50, for example, here, right? Now that ROI goes up. And the cool thing is Selleramp takes into account shipping, fees, sales tax, literally all of that stuff, guys. So it's going to remove a lot of like the guesswork on your end specifically right here. So the big part of Selleramp is going to be the profit calculator feature, as well as finding products as a beginner seller. All you want to do that is take a look inside the storefronts of other sellers here that have lots of reviews, like this seller, for example, that has 75 reviews. Right here, we can click open the seller, and now we can go ahead and see all the different brands they carry right here, all the different categories they carry right here, right? And then we can go ahead and actually see all their fastest selling products, and then go ahead and hit the Google button right here to see where we can track those items down profitably right here. So say this item, we need to pay like 19, for example, right? I can take a look over here at the chart and see the price actually trending up right there. And then we'll go ahead and plug this in. And that's how you're going to do what's called the storefront stalking method, which is the best way to find products as a complete beginner. So that's the basics of Selleramp here. There's a couple other more advanced features too, but in general, you're primarily going to be using the mobile app for retail arbitrage with the profit calculator on it, or the Chrome extension for online arbitrage with the profit calculator on it as well. In terms of basic product research criteria, I would definitely write down, if I were you guys, is going to be stable or increasing price, stable or decreasing competition. We're going to take a look at how to gauge that in a sec. And then under 150,000 or 200K rank, for example, this one's a little bit higher. And then $3 plus profit per unit and a 30% plus return on investment as well, which Selleramp's going to help you find that data specifically. Next up is going to be Keepa right here. So scrolling down here, we can see how Keepa works. So Keepa is the other product research software I like for beginners. Selleramp shows us if an item's good today. Keepa is going to show if an item's going to be good over time. So when you first initially open up Keepa, you might see 3 charts, for example. I like to go ahead and hit the sub ranks button right here here, so it only shows 2. Occasionally, you might accidentally hit the less historical data right here, and then it only shows 1 chart. I'd personally recommend showing the 2 right here. The cool thing about Keepa is it tracks performance of a product over time ever since an item was added to Amazon. However, as a beginner seller, you want to primarily look at the 3-month data right here, right? So now the bottom chart on Keepa represents the offer count, aka the competition, right? The top chart on Keepa represents the price action over time as well as the demand. So for example, we can see this listing here actually, for the most part, has a pretty decent sales rank here. So I think this was relatively misleading in terms of the sales rank. But the cool part is we can see while the sales rank currently is very high, there's been a lot of time where it's under 150,000 rank for the most part, right? And we can see there's time above it. But the cool thing is we can also see this actually does sell well right here. So even though this has a little bit higher of a sales rank, I can see nice up and down movement in the competition specifically and see that this listing actually does sell. So it's very important to note, guys, the Keepa chart is more important than the sales rank specifically, right? So if we can see the pink line here tells how fast this product sells, and then the bottom chart shows the offer count, which is the competition. And then we can also see the sales rank over time in green, right? So this listing sells pretty decently right here. We can see nice offer count movement, right? Even though the rank's a little bit high. Meanwhile, this product over here, we can see is a 23K rank, right? But there's also lots of other colors, lots of other sizes, for example, right? And this item, if we take a look here, the Keepa chart is significantly more blocky. So it's important to note, guys, the sales rank is for the entire listing. So all the variations combined, right? I get asked all the time, how do you tell, which colors and sizes sell best? Meanwhile, the Keepa chart is variation specific. So even though the sales rank on this item is lower, it's because it's this listing overall sells quicker. Meanwhile, this specific variation sells quicker because I can see a lot more activity in the Keepa chart, or at least that's what the data is showing me from my experience, right? So the big things you want to make sure you're taking a look at with Keepa charts, make sure the price is not going down. In this case, it's pretty stable, right? And make sure the competition is not shooting up. In general, we can see the competition is trending down. It looks like it perked up a little bit here, but the price hasn't really gone down as well. And that's the basics of Selleramp and Keepa. I have full tutorials on both those on my channel and in the free live training tomorrow night, which you want to make sure you get registered for. I'll be dropping a ton of specific game on Keepa and some really good sauce we don't share anywhere else for free. So make sure you get registered for that. The next thing you need to make sure you do before starting Amazon FBA is actually going to be defining your goals. Why do you actually want to make money online? Why do you actually want to start an online business? Do you want to quit your job? Do you want to retire your wife? Do you want to just have some side income? It's important to note and really figure out what you want to get out of this prior to starting, because then it's going to be easier to reverse engineer it. If you only want some side money, maybe you don't stay up all night watching YouTube videos and sourcing your first night. But if you really don't like your job, you hate that commute, you better put in full-time hours or as much time as possible that you can, right? Because all we can do is what we have specifically right there. So figure out what you want prior to selling on Amazon, define your goals, think about how good it's going to feel to hit those, and take relentless action every day. Because if you want full-time results, you can't put in part-time effort specifically. And I know, I get it. You got stuff going on, but everyone's busy. And this is going to be what you make of it. You're going to get out what you put into it, and you need to pay down that ignorance debt as quick as possible when you're a beginner Amazon seller. And lastly, you need to understand the different moats and discount mechanisms that go into making products profitable with online arbitrage. This is a little bit more an advanced thing, but it's awesome for you guys watching this video this deep into it. That are beginners, you need to have all the coupon extensions, right? Capital One Shopping, Be Frugal, Retail Me Not, Coupon Birds, Top Cash Back, Rakuten, etc., right? You also need to be ready for email, account, and text sign-up pop-ups that are going to happen on different websites. The really big thing here with all these different ways to lower your buy costs is just understanding that very few items are going to be profitable at the advertised price. Sometimes they will be, right? But for the most part, it's going to require getting buy costs cheaper to make items profitable. It's a big mistake a lot of beginners make, right? As well as just digging around for coupons and further discounts you can find on Google, right? Or asking customer service, or just being in the community and talking to other sellers, right? Discounted gift cards on Cardbear and Top Cashback are really helpful for that as well, right? Leveraging different rewards programs like Kohl's Cash. I would definitely recommend just taking a screenshot of this and just every time you come across a new supplier, when you're, looking products up, you find just storefront stock and looking inside of their storefronts, you go through this checklist and figure out which of these discount methods are available. Specifically, a tax exempt certificate is really, really helpful as well. A reseller certificate, right? To avoid sales tax. right? Getting on a listing quick, merch fulfilled as well, especially in Q4 and especially for items that are below £1 but above $20. Merch fulfilled is really good for, right? Holiday sales, like for example, Halloween coming up, October Prime Day coming up. It's going to be a lot of good sales on different retailers. Great time for more listings to become profitable. For example, stacking these opportunities together too, taking advantage of a holiday sale, but also using a discounted gift card, for example, right? And just keeping really good organized Selleramp sheets in terms of one-click exporting your leads out to Selleramp Google Sheets to stay organized. If you find a listing that's good, but it's out of stock, or if you find a listing that's not quite good, but it's pretty close, add it to a Selleramp spreadsheet. So you can go ahead and take a look at that back in the future, right? Same thing with back to school and the fourth quarter stability right there. And just smart repricing, identifying on the Keepa chart when the buy box is actually going higher than maybe it might show consistently, right? So sometimes you'll see the current buy box is 27, but if you take a look at the Keepa chart, you can see it's bouncing up and down up to 31. If you're going to FBA that item using Boxem, 2D barcodes, for example, right, using our shipment software, which is full tour on my channel for, you can probably price that higher, right? And then also using a tax-free prep center as well that has no sales tax. So if you live in a state with high sales tax, using a prep center sales tax-free state can really help you and make your business more profitable and help you not have to do the work as well. So it's a really, really interesting case where it's a major win-win when you use a tax-free prep center as well. That's really everything you need to know before starting selling on Amazon, guys. I hope this video was really helpful, guys. If you have any specific questions that you think can help you start selling on Amazon or just make your journey easier, please let me know down below at the link in the description. Also, got the free live training going down September 18th at 7 p.m. Eastern specifically. And if you want personalized one-on-one help from me, I'll also leave my mentorship application link at the link in the description. Check out my full 6-hour free course right here for some more game, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks so much for watching. Make sure to subscribe.